how it's like to live there, and us moving to Canada, and graduation and so on. So when we came to Canada, I was 13 years old. My brother was two, and I moved with my parents directly to Whitehorse. We landed in Whitehorse Airport and we drove to Watson Lake. So I started school on during grade six. I had a translator who would help me with my assignments, and most of the time she would help me, not just help me, but kind of do the assignments for me to ex- not just explain, but also as well do the assignments. Then when I was in grade six, I the year after that, which I was supposed to be going to grade seven, I didn't. I skipped grade seven. I moved to high school, which I did at 14. So I skipped a grade because of my age. I was the oldest in the class. So my teacher said, "Oh, she should be going with the high schoolers, because she's the oldest." So my translator, she was even my teacher, my helping me out with translation in high school, and she helped me out, and even in the exams she helped me. Then she also was pregnant, and she took care of a baby, and then after she had her baby, she wasn't my translator anymore. I had another translator, which I would see her Wednesdays and Mondays, and the first translator was Tuesdays and Thursdays. So in school, I used to struggle. I took one of the easy English courses after that. It was a program called Wilson, so I was learning about the schwa, vowel, consonant E, and pronunciation and writing skills. So this is one of the lowest English there is. Then I went and finished that course till grade 11, and I graduated from it. So that's the lowest English. Then after that one, I took another English. It was communications 10, 11, and 12. So I finished that as one of the lowest English. And yeah, so then I was thinking also what to do as a career. So thinking I wanted to be cartoonist, to do animation. So when I was younger, I was fascinated about cartoons and animation. I said maybe one day I can do cartoons and maybe work for Disney cartoons, because that was my idea when I was younger. And then that idea stuck with me till I was older, and I wanted to do animation. And I did some school programs with animation. One was called Alice 2.2, 2.0. So this is one of, they don't use it for any cartoons. The one I had on my computer was called Animation Studio. So I was playing around with that one. That one people, animators on Disney use it, and anime, South Park, Simpsons, any kind of animation, professional animation artists, they use that. But that program is very difficult. I don't have that program anymore. I tried to work with it. I wasn't sure how to really function with it, because you need to use tutorials, and it takes time to study. I mean, if you would take it as a course, probably be easier, but to figure it out on my own was not too easy. So yeah, so I I even looked up schools. There's one school called Emily Carr, but that school is very expensive too. And they were saying the school you can not anybody can go to. You have to be First Nation to join. That's why I didn't. That's why I couldn't register. And which is okay. Probably even if I would have signed up for it, if it was possible for me to go there, I probably would have gotten rejected either way. So I was looking at places where to register. We were looking, we didn't find anything. Then my teacher said, "Oh, there's a school in Dawson City. It's called SOVA, School of Visual Arts." I registered there, and it didn't work out too good, because in the beginning when I registered, there was one guy. He was a German guy. He wanted me to go really badly to the school because I was German too. He wanted to be helpful. Then he wasn't working there anymore, so things got a little bit more harder. they needed you to take English 10 and 11, the advanced, as well as math 10 and 11. Because 10 English I had, but it wasn't the English that they wanted. They wanted basic English, not the weaker English. So for me, it wasn't too easy, as well as math. I only took math apprentice, 10 to 12, and they said, no, we need the different kind of math. So I did everything what the requirements were. I did a portfolio. They rejected me. They wanted me to have an introduction letter, why I want to go, how did I find it, then telling them about myself, how I found out about the school and what am I looking forward to learn. Then to do the art portfolio, they wanted me to draw myself. They wanted me to draw my hand, my foot. They wanted me to do some kind of designing, like, like making clothes or sculptures or something, take photos to have like an actual portfolio and then send it to them. So I got rejected. But even if I didn't, I still find that school is quite expensive. It's $3,000, close to 3,000, because it starts from March to September, and after September, it's again from March to September. So it's a whole, and the rest of the school year you don't have really that much of school. You can go home and be with your family. They have certain times where you can stay in the canvas and which times you cannot, because Christmas, Easter, and so on, holidays, and some weeks off. So all scheduled, and yeah, I applied twice. I got rejected twice, which is, I'm okay with that, because it didn't work out. It didn't work out. If it would have, it would have, but that's okay. So, and then, yeah, like I said, I graduated. My mom was saying to me, oh, you should become a stewardess because you're so tall, you're so thin, you're beautiful, you have good hair, you could just style it and then have my hair nicely up, and then you're very tall. Because being a stewardess, you don't just need to look good, you need to be very patient, because there's a lot of people on the plane who are impatient and very rude. And I am not patient person at all. So if I was a stewardess, it wouldn't work out for me, because first of all, I am very impatient. I like to travel. Like the idea, for example, being here and then to go to Mexico. I like that idea to go somewhere, but I don't like the idea to be on a plane for so many hours and to fly. I don't like that. But the idea of traveling, the idea to be there, I like, but not the idea of flying. If it's a short flight, like 5 hours, I'm okay with it. But if it's a flight like 10 hours or plus, that's too much for me. I don't like it. I'm extremely impatient, especially if you don't fly alone. If you fly with your kids, it's gonna be challenging too. Because when we were flying to Mexico with Adam, he was crying always, and he couldn't stop crying. Even people were complaining, saying, oh, he's too loud and this and that. You know how it is when you fly. There's kids screaming. And even if so what? Why does it matter if they're loud or not? Either way, you're not going to see these people anymore. So why should this person care if my kid is being loud? It doesn't have any impact on their life whatsoever. But yeah, that idea I don't like of if I would have became a stewardess. And as well as the fact that in order to be a stewardess, they mainly prefer, it's better to be single, not married, no boyfriend, no kids, because all you do is traveling. And also you need to know many languages. I'm pretty sure you need to know more than 2 languages. I only know English and German, but still, I that wasn't something really I could see myself. And even I was thinking, oh, maybe I could do pharmacy, work as a pharmacist, as an assistant, but even that, I don't think I'd be that good at it. I probably would forget stuff, mix things up, but yeah, that's why you learn. But I think now that I'm thinking of it, I don't think I would do a good job, or I would get bored of it, maybe change it to something else. My first job was as in a hair salon, I was the one who was cleaning to sweep off the floor, the cutted hair, and it was one hairdresser. His name was Joseph Blackstock. He was a hairdresser who came to Watson Lake. He had his own salon in Whitehorse, so he came from time to time to Watson Lake to cut their hair, and he didn't do really a good job with cutting people's hair, I must say. There were times he messed up my hair, and I said I wanted to have cut like maybe this much off, and then he cuts like half of my hand, like the size of my palm to down here. It's like, why are you cutting so much? I only asked for like a small trim. That's why nowadays I cut my own hair. So I know how much I want it to be off, and I do it more evenly than they do. I always somebody cuts my hair and messes up. So yeah, and that was my first job. Then I did housekeeping. I was cleaning at a hotel in the Yukon, motel, a nice motel, and it's a very nice motel. All the furniture is from IKEA. It's very nice, and it's very pretty. I mean, you can, if you like, you can look it up on YouTube. A nice motel. I used to work there, and my boss says you need to clean really fast. I don't like you to take too long, and I'm like, okay, cause up in the bottom floor there were 8 rooms, and up top were 8 rooms, so in total 16 rooms, right? So I was once we were done with cleaning, we can go home. So yeah, so I cleaned. She often complained, and then she blamed me. She's like, "Oh, you make my business look bad." And then she always would be really direct and rude, saying something to me. And I walked out on her when I was working for her. I said, "You know what? I'm done. You're not even being nice to me. You're being really rude." So I walked out on her. And my mom got mad at me, says, "Why did you do it?" I said, "Why not? She was being rude to me. And everybody else is leaving too, so why does it matter?" So nevertheless, that was one job I did. I also, in there beside it, there was a gas station, Petro Canada. So I would stack stuff. So that was half of half. I would mop the floor, I would clean everything. And that job I did. Then I worked at the daycare. I worked from June till October because I got fired. My boss, she didn't like. She says, "Oh, you're too. You don't know how to deal with kids." Because one kid was climbing a shelf, I grabbed it down, and she was saying, "This is child abuse." I said, "This is not child abuse. He's climbing furniture." And I grabbed him and I put him down. And she says she doesn't like it. That's too violent. And the other women working there, they defended me. Says it's not violent. He's climbing stuff. Of course, I'm gonna put him down. I don't want him to fall and hurt himself. So you know how people are. Some people they just I like to call them kumbaya. They just they're not in this reality. They are somewhere else. Probably I don't even know what. I met enough people like that. Oh, you're too harsh. This and that. Oh, I don't like what I'm hearing. This is too negative. They're living in a make believe world, but nevertheless, I'm glad I don't work there anymore. It wasn't meant anyway. So after that, I worked at the restaurant. I wrote down the orders on used pieces of paper. I wrote, oh, this and that you want. Okay, I'll be right back. So sometimes I would forget people's orders because of my kidneys. That's when it started. My memory. It started to impact my memories, and disoriented, kind of blocked. So, and then one time my boss was getting mad at me, telling me, "Why are you here?" I said, "To work." She's like, "Yeah, but I didn't tell you to come." I said, "You told me Monday to Sunday." She's like, "Yeah, but you don't work today." And one person at work told me, "That's okay." She always does that to me too. She always says, "I didn't tell you to work," and then you come. And then I work because normally you're supposed to let people know. She didn't let me know anything, so I worked there. She let me go because it was already fall, and she didn't had enough work. So she says, "I'll lay you off," which is a nicer way of saying you're fired. So really with working, I never had that much success, struggling. Certain tasks are difficult for me too. With my ADHD and autism, I mean, certain things are challenging. Anybody who has autism and ADHD can relate to what I'm saying. What else did I do? Did I do anything else after? No, and then I stopped working. Even after graduating, I was staying at home. I was looking for places where to work. There were no jobs available. My dad would tell me, hey, go look for a job. I said, there's nothing. And he would tell me I'm lying. And oh my God. I said, no, you don't believe me? Go to the job center. And there are no jobs. Because it's a small town where I lived in Watson Lake. It is between 700 to 900 people. How can you find a job there? Everybody knows everybody. So yeah, the part of graduation and work, what has been happening. So the weather, it can get quite cold. So the coldest I have ever experienced was -65. That was on New Year's. It's I experienced blizzards, hail, very cold. The winter there is very dry cold. So one time it snowed in July or August, something like that. It snowed in the summer, which was really weird. So then what else? One time we were in the house and it was really cold, and there was it was -50 something, and we were really cold, and then the furnace didn't work, so we had it fixed. We're sitting there in blankets and it's freezing. And yeah, so the coldest I experienced was between 50 to 65, which is crazy cold. It's like cold like in Siberia. Because my grandma, when we came, she to Canada, she gave me this really thick sweater, and she told me, wear this. This is gonna keep you warm, just like the winters in Siberia. You're gonna be kept warm, and that sweater was very warm. It was extremely warm. It was so warm I was sweating, even that the material was itchy too. But at least it kept me warm. So yeah, and in the summer it gets quite hot too. 30 something. 34 to 35, 36. That was the hottest I ever felt. Then we have these pinching beetles. Their bodies like this big, and their antennas is like this big too, so about this big when they fly. And when they fly, they kind of glide. They kind of, I like to call them little Batmans, because when they fly they look like that. And they have them in the Yukon, they have them in Saskatchewan and Alberta. And these guys, when they land on you, they pinch you. And when they pinch you really hard. They can even rip off some skin. And to prevent them from doing that, for them to land on you, is you eat lots of garlic, and you wear on you lavender. That's gonna protect you from these little Batmans, as we like to call them. Let's see what else. The pinching beetles too, you can hear them munching on the bark tree, and it's like that's that kind of sound, like a tapping noise. So the summer and the winter, the bears, they do come in town, in and out, in and out. You can see them coming, and then people are filming, saying, oh look, there's bears in town. I mean, not that I ever heard an incident, people being attacked, but I did hear, I remember in the newspaper, there was one incident. They said that the wolves are in town, and they're gonna come and not kill, they're gonna come in and attack, and take your puppies. Like they made it is a cartoon, like humorous. We're here in town to eat your puppies. So there was a lot of dogs missing because the wolves, they came into town. So that was, I remember that happened when we came, when we moved to the Yukon. Let's see what else. The Northern Lights, I did see the Northern Lights. Most of the time I seen them green. You can see them whichever it gets really cold. One time I saw them as early September, which is weird. Normally you could see them November to January, February. It just depends. People ask me, hey, when is a good time to see the Northern Lights? And I'm like, how am I supposed to know? You think I can summon them? They come when it gets cold. You cannot really predict that. Even people, they don't know. Oh, there's northern lights. You just go out. If they're there, they're there. If not, then not. But here we live in BC, so you're not gonna see northern lights. They had some. I heard some cases in the news saying that you be able to see in BC the northern lights. I never seen them here, so probably it depends where exactly in BC. Some people said they seen it in downtown Vancouver, but I'm not sure about that, if they really did see it or if it's just they say they seen it because it was on the news, you know. I seen a meteor shower here before, but other than that, that's it. Eclipse, the blood moon eclipse I seen, when the moon was really big and it was bright red. But something like that, eclipses you cannot see up in the Yukon, which here you can see, but depends where exactly you can see. So yeah, now I've been in Canada for 19 years. It's gonna be September, it's gonna be 19 years, yeah. So that's been a long time. It doesn't even feel that long, you know, because I don't know, to me it seems like it was just maybe like a couple months ago when we came. Time flies really fast, especially when you have kids too. Because when I look at Adam, I see him and it's like I feel like it was yesterday I held him in my arms when he was just born, and now he's half my size, and I am 5'9", and he's like 3 foot something. And he's quite tall for almost 3 years. Even my grandma says, how is he half your size? He can reach your belly button just about. She says, that's too tall. He says, he should be that tall, maybe like that if he's already 4 years old. I said, no. I said, me and Sergio are both tall. He's like, yeah, that's true. But she says, that's not normal. He's so tall. And I said, yeah, he's probably going to be more taller than us, well, especially than me. So it's gonna be this one. I'm pregnant with him, the little Livana. So yeah, even with the what else? Here, like I mentioned in the previous video about my what do you call it? When I came to Vancouver, I got medevaced. Cause here only in BC I've been since when was it, 2018, and now it's 2025, so it's exactly 7 years. I came here August 16, so I like BC. It's I like the trees here. It's more of a boreal environment. It doesn't get that cold. That's also why a lot of people like to come here to visit and to live here. The nature here is beautiful, and I love the trees here. Here the trees are very nice. They're big. They have beautiful leaves. Up in the Yukon, they look like burnt matches. They're not so pretty, but I like the mountains and the lakes. So the scenery is very pretty. I love it. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Ciao.